Cigarette cash became seed money for the food in your kitchen. Accidentally protected cigarette throne and gave it the power to walk straight into your kitchen, to your puja room, and to your classroom. Every time someone lights a cigarette and every time you make chapati at home, one company is making money from both your lungs and your lunch. This company sells cancer in packets and calls it family trust in your kitchen. You know the brands, I'll name some. Aashirvaad, Sunfeast, Bingo, Classmate, Mangaldeep. But the parent behind them is India's biggest legal cigarette seller, ITC. In the early 2000s, most 90% of ITC's profits came from cigarettes. Around 75% of its revenue was cigarette money. Today, cigarettes still bring in roughly 40% of ITC's total revenue. And yet, if you ask most people, they'll say, ITC? Oh, that's a food company, like Aashirvaad Atta, or some others will say, a safe FMCG stock. A law that was supposed to save Indians from tobacco accidentally protected ITC's cigarette throne and gave it the power to walk straight into your kitchen, to your puja room, and to your classroom. And even your stock portfolio. Stay till the end. I'll show you the real versus record of the cigarette company inside your food. ITC is one of the strangest companies in India. On paper, diversified conglomerate. In reality, a cigarette empire wearing a food company mask. Okay, now let's imagine this scene. In one board meeting, they discuss lungs filling with smoke. And in the same board meeting, they discuss your mother's atta, child's biscuit, your kid's notebook, your puja agarbatti. In the early 2000s, if cigarettes crashed, ITC crashed. That's how dependent they were. And that's exactly when the Indian government passed a big anti-tobacco law. In 2003, Parliament passed the Cigarettes and Other Tobacco Products Act called COPTA. No cigarettes ads on TV, radio or newspapers. Big health warnings, no glamorous sports sponsorships, and restrictions on public smoking. Everyone thought, yeah, now ITC is finished. But before this law, ITC already controlled around 80% of India's legal cigarette market. Their brands were already burned into memory. Their shelves at pan shops were already locked. So when advertising suddenly disappeared for everyone, who suffered more? The new company trying to enter, or the king already on the throne? COPTA didn't kill ITC, it froze their dominance. The same law meant to save lungs accidentally cemented a cigarette monopoly. After ads disappeared, there was only one battlefield left, that tiny 2-foot space on your shop counter. For years, ITC salesmen visited these shops, not just to drop cartons, but to build trust, credit, margins, schemes, relationships. So when the law hit and advertising vanished, the shopkeeper still had one constant: the ITC salesman who shows up every week. He can be trusted. And that distribution muscle became ITC's real superpower. Earlier, the salesman pushed Gold Flake and Classic. Now the company says, push Aashirvaad Atta, Sunfeast biscuit, Bingo chips. The shopkeeper already trusts you. He already earns from the cigarette margins. So when you say, Cheddar, keep this Aashirvaad also, same company, good quality. He gives you shelf space. And just like that, Aashirvaad, Sunfeast, Bingo, Yippee, Mangaldeep didn't start from zero. They started from a network built on addiction. Cigarette cash became seed money for the food in your kitchen. Now comes the branding master stock. I will give you an easiest example to categorize. Would you buy Harpic Atta for your child? No, right? Of course not, because toilet cleaners equals dirty. I'm not telling exactly as it is, just telling as an analog. So, ITC used something called a house of brands strategy. The parent company stays hidden. You emotionally connect to the Aashirvaad, Sunfeast, Classmate, not the ITC. Only when you flip the packet and read those fine print do you see the parent company. And when a brand tries to wear two identities at once, a cigarette giant on the balance sheet and a family-friendly food brand on the shelf, even a small crack in the trust becomes a big conversation. Just like this. Recently, if you search online, you will find posts and videos where some people claim they found plastic-like particles in Aashirvaad Atta. Some even stretch dough in videos saying it behaves like plastic. Now, let me be very clear, I have not personally tested this product though, and I have not independently verified those claims. But I'm not saying they are true. Again, a but is there. When a brand sits in millions of kitchens, even a rumor or a slight suspicion spreads fast, and suddenly people start questioning the trust behind the packet. And this is where the finance bros come in. On YouTube and Instagram, you'll hear the same lines. ITC is safe, dividend king, defensive stock, but very few people say the uncomfortable part. The dividend is indirectly funded by cigarette profits. Now, I am not telling you what to buy or what to sell. I am telling you what you are actually buying. When you click buy ITC, you are not just buying Aashirvaad Atta, you are buying a structure built on decades of cigarette dominance. So remember three things. 1. A law meant to destroy tobacco advertising accidentally protected ITC's throat. 2. That same cigarette distribution network walked straight into your kitchen, puja room and classroom. 3. Every time someone calls ITC just an FMCG company, they are repeating the real, not the record. So, the record is simple, just a cigarette empire that learned how to wear a respectable mask. So the next step, you put that red Aashirvaad packet flip, read the back, see the parent company and ask yourself just one question. Am I okay with this trade-off? This was the real versus the record of ITC. The company that makes money from your lungs and your lunch. This is Chandni signing off from the Unmasked Indian. I'll see you for the next one.